Hey guys, I recently had a very interesting discussion over my private Facebook profile. I asked something like, what would happen after all the big stars in music are gone? And it was right after Chris Cornell died. And as we know, many other stars, big names in music, passed away in the last couple of years. And I think this trend is going to keep on because most of them are quite old. Chris was not. Chris was only 50 something, but many of them are 70 something, 80 something. So over the coming decade, I'm sure that unfortunately we will see many of them passing away and leaving us with a very kind of strange situation because we were all used to just having, the top line, the front line of music with a very short list of artists. Some of them, many of them, are amazing talents, geniuses in their profession, in what they do. But I'm not sure this will ever happen again. And not just because of talent. I think we're not lacking any talent. It's also having a lot to do with the current state of the music industry, which is, not even tenth of what it used to be up to 20, 25 years ago. And I got many responses to my question. Many said, "Yeah, music will just go on. There will be new talents, new stars, etc." And that's a very legitimate position. I really hope it will be like that. But others were not so sure, and I'd like to read you one comment by a friend, uh, Chima Emrua, and he said, "That's the big question that doesn't let me sleep. Probably since Paco de Lucia died, I realized that no generational shift would replace him. Today, everybody wants to show their skills. Yesterday, there were so many people who wanted to show their soul." And I think, I think a lot is kind of in between those two answers. So, on one hand, yes, we have an objective situation where the music industry is just pretty much gone. I mean, there is still here and there are some successful bands, some successful artists, but I'm not sure they generate the kind of classics that that we were used to get until 25, 30 years ago. Like there are huge artists that just were active over the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and nowadays it's a feeling. It's just a feeling, but we kind of get this, passing trains, and everybody want to show their skills, like Emra said, because I think they don't have. It's not like they don't have more talent than that, and it's not like they have more content to offer. It's just because they have to be impressive all the time, otherwise they're forgotten. With the internet and social media and YouTube and all that, it's so easy to upload a video, and I don't know, a couple of weeks later, a couple of months later, it will just be down the river sailing, and no one is going to watch it anymore, or very few people are going to. And that's a shame. We don't have the attention span that we used to have. How many of you, experienced the last time this situation where you just, sit around and just listening to music, or lying on the bed, listening to some record, either on MP3s or stream or real vinyl, but it doesn't matter. Just, focusing all our attention to music, and especially to new music that we didn't know before, and that just draws our attention, but for longer than a couple of minutes. I think there is a real attention problem in the general public, in the music lovers public as well. And that's why many people need to impress all the time. They need to do all their stunts, and they cannot really focus on providing some, deep content. And that's a real shame, I think. I think people can do much more than content, and they should not be afraid to do this as well. Because I think that once people start to listen, yes, their attention needs to be drawn somehow, but if there is something that catches them, I think they will get back to it at some point. And that's what I believe, and that's why I like to play, and show off, quote unquote, my technique. But the point is not to show off. The point is to just express yourself fully, and especially to provide a lot of content that interests people, content that people hook up with, and that they feel emotionally connected to. That's the most important thing. And I think Shima is right when he says that people just want to show off their skills and not their soul. Maybe they are afraid that if they show their soul, they won't attract as many people. But I think they should not be. But of course, this is a very big discussion, whether it is like that today or not. And if so, how can we as artists make this better? Because I think people do need to show their souls. Artists should show their souls and not just their skills. And of course, your opinion is also welcome on the matter.